companion.
I call the honourable member Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Let me begin by acknowledging the 29 men who lost their lives on the 19th of November 2010. I want to particularly acknowledge Blair Sims, who was the union delegate, the EPMU delegate, one of 3 delegates who I had met in one of the regular delegate meetings that the EPMU had held, and he was very proud of his union role, and his family specifically requested that he have union paraphernalia at his memorial service. I want to acknowledge the families of the 29 men who have been through so much in the last 2 years as they've grieved, as they've attempted to come to terms with what could possibly have happened on that tragic day. And I want to acknowledge also the co-workers, the comrades of those 29 miners and the contractors who have also suffered in their own way. The sense that many of them expressed to me as I met them was, there but for the grace of God. That could have been them, and they knew that. Mr Speaker, the report of the Royal Commission on the Pike River tragedy is cogent, it's powerful, and it is a validation at last, in my view, of the serious problems that lie at the heart of health and safety in the workplace in this country. I want to acknowledge the work of the Commissioners, Justice Pankhurst, Stuart Bell and David Henry. It is an outstanding report, it is clear, and there can be no disagreement with it. They have cited the evidence and they've drawn their conclusions. The acting minister said that we should not forget the lesson. But the sad reality is, Mr Speaker, we have forgotten the lessons. We've forgotten the lessons of Strongman. We've forgotten the lessons of Brunner, of Kaitangata. We keep forgetting those lessons because every generation, every cycle of politician and bureaucrat thinks they know best. But this is no time, Mr Speaker, for smugness or self-contentedness. It's not time to say that some are to blame and some others aren't. And it's certainly no time for the sort of conceit that I've seen expressed in newspaper editorials today, particularly in the New Zealand Herald, that sort of blamed the company and the government and workers. I look at the role of the media, the ones who cheered on Peter Whittle that time 2 years ago and elevated him to hero status. The newspapers and other media whose journalists unquestionably accepted everything that they were told by the company and their PR representatives. And I know there were PR representatives, Mr Speaker, because as soon as I arrived in Greymouth on the Saturday after the first explosion, I met them. Not 1, not 2, but by Monday, 5 PR representatives representing Pike River. I criticised the media whose journalists would not question the deception that the entire nation was put under, that these men would come out alive when it was quite clear within hours that they were not going to. And yet Peter Whittle's continued representations that there was a chance they would were peddled time and again. Let's not be smug, Mr Speaker. Pike River is thousands of New Zealand workplaces. Pike River is the ultimate conclusion of years of corporate hubris and of years of running down the institutions that protect workers. In 1988, the Department of Labour, OSH Department, Occupational Safety and Health, had 317 inspectors, workplace inspectors. In 2008, it was 130. There was a tragic story of the mines inspector who was called upon to investigate incidents in the underground mine at Pike River, serious incidents like flashes. And when the manager who was reportedly told him that their travel budget had run out, he wasn't allowed to go. Mr Speaker, it's a travesty. And the other big institution, important institution that's been run down is the workers' voice. The media has increasingly privileged the corporate voice over any others in this country, and policymakers have too. I just ask this question. In light of a report that is the most damning on a single business in New Zealand, in light of a report that is recommending the most radical change affecting business regulation in New Zealand, where is the business voice? Where is Business New Zealand? Where is the New Zealand Initiative? Where is the EMA Northern? Nowhere to be seen. They have nothing to say. But when the government announces another deterioration of workers' rights, the press releases come out, they're all over it. But they have nothing to say. We don't have business leadership in this country. We have greed and self-interest, and Pike River is the apotheosis of it. The government, if it does anything else, must support every recommendation, and that must include a standalone agency to look after health and safety, as Britain does, as other countries do. We must change the culture of health and safety in New Zealand. Nothing less will save millions of other workers in this country.
I call the Honourable Minister